If you spend enough time around AI teams, sitting in glass meeting rooms with whiteboards covered in arrows or scrolling Slack threads full of model metrics, you start to notice a pattern. It's not loud or dramatic. There is no single moment where everything breaks. It's quieter than that. Things just slowly drift off, of course. Usually, while everyone is still sounding optimistic about where it's all going, after looking at more than 100 AI projects, one thing stands out pretty clearly. Most of them don't fail because the tech isn't good enough. They fail because the idea behind them was never fully solid to begin with. It usually starts with a kind of vague ambition that sounds modern and strategic, but isn't actually that specific. A company decides it needs AI. The way it once decided it needed a website or a mobile app. It feels like something you're supposed to say to stay relevant. But underneath that decision, there is often no clear problem, just a general worry about being left behind. So, a team gets put together, tools get picked, and work starts. But if you don't really know the question you are trying to answer, even a powerful system will struggle to produce anything genuinely useful. Then comes data, which is where reality tends to show up and ruin the vibe a bit. On paper, companies think they have loads of it. In practice, it's usually messy, inconsistent, and spread across systems that were never meant to talk to each other. AI doesn't interpret that mess. At least the current AI tools don't have that ability. They're not programmed that way. It just reflects that. So if the input is chaotic, the output can look impressive but still be unreliable underneath. A lot of teams only realize this after weeks or months when the system is already running, but the results feel more like confident guesses than dependable answers. Even when things start out well, another issue shows up: the gap between demos and real life. In a controlled setup, AI models can look almost magical. Everything is clean, everything is predictable, and works exactly as expected. But once you drop off into actual business conditions, things get messy fast. Data is incomplete. Users behave unpredictably. Systems don't line up properly. What looked polished in a demo starts to fall apart in production. That's where a lot of projects stall. Not because they stop working, but because they never fully make the jump into something real. Then there is the question of responsibility, which often ends up weirdly blurry. AI projects usually sit in this awkward middle space, too technical for business leaders to fully own, but too important to leave entirely to AI engineers. So, no one really feels fully in charge. Things keep moving, but priorities shift, decisions slow down, and the project sort of floats along without a clear driver. On top of all that is exception. AI has been talked about in almost magical terms like it should instantly transform everything. So when the reality turns out to be slower and more gradual, it feels disappointing. Even if a system genuinely improves something by a decent amount, it can still get dismissed because it didn't completely reinvent the process. The issue isn't that AI underperforms. It's that people expect it to do too much at once. And then there is fit. Even a good model has to live inside real systems and real workflows. It has to make sense to the people using it every day. This is where a lot of projects quietly struggle. If a tool feels like it complicates things instead of helping, or if it's hard to understand why it's making certain decisions, people just stop using it, no matter how advanced it is. What's interesting is that none of this is really about the algorithms. The problems are mostly human. It's about unclear goals, messy data, fuzzy ownership, and expectations that don't match reality. The teams that do well tend to keep things simpler. They start with a very specific problem that already exists in daily work. They treat data as something that needs care, not just collection. They accept that early visions won't be great and that improvement takes time. And they focus a lot on whether real people can actually use what they're building without friction. Seen that way, AI isn't some magical breakthrough sitting outside everything else. It's more like a mirror. If a company is clear and organized, AI tends to work surprisingly well. If things are already a bit messy, AI just make everything messy and make that mess more visible. So most AI projects don't fail for mysterious reasons. They fail in pretty familiar ways. Not because the technology can't keep up, but because the setup around it was never quite clear enough to begin with. Until next time, have a good one.